Welcome to HuffPost Live. I'm Mark Lamont Hill. This week, presidential debates are starting up, and a lot of people are excited, but not me. Not just because that means I have to come to work extra early, but also because presidential debates don't matter. Nobody watches a presidential debate and says, you know what, I was really going to vote for the uber liberal guy, but now, you know what, I'm going to go libertarian because I like the way the guy responded to that question. No one ever changes their politics in presidential debates or their positional politics in presidential debates just because someone makes a persuasive argument or has broad shoulders or gives a good one-liner. None of it matters. People know who they're going to vote for before it starts, and it's the same person as after the debate ends. That's what I think, but most people think I'm wrong. So I brought them in to tell me why I'm wrong. David Birdsell is here. He's the co-author of Presidential Debates, The Challenge of Creating an Informed Electorate. I think that's a joke. And Dean of the Baruch College School of Public Affairs. We also have Dotty Lynch, who is former senior political editor at CBS News and a professor of public communication at American University. We also have Howard Fineman, who's editorial director at the Huffington Post Media Group. And we have Tom Cunnhingham, who is a HuffPost community member and a voter in California. You're going to go into these debates on Tuesday, I guess, and you're going to see Mitt Romney and you're going to see Barack Obama, or one day you'll go and you'll see Ryan and whoever our vice president is, Biden, go at it. Is there any chance you can walk out of that debate with a different perspective?
I don't think it is possible to have a completely different perspective. I think what may be driven by these debates is the notion that enthusiasm or perceived momentum within the political parties may shift a bit. Frankly, I'd be surprised if Mitt says much of anything, in as much as his wife just cautioned the entire country that his mental well-being may be at risk with nuclear launch codes if he's elected. But
first of all, we have at least two debates where we know that there was significant movement in the polls immediately following the debates. If we go back to the only debate between Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter, Carter came into that debate as a favorite. He left as an underdog, and there you go again, became part of the national political vocabulary. And it mattered, I think most people would agree, very much in that cycle. Likewise, John Kerry making up a tremendous amount of ground against George W. Bush in 2004. It ultimately didn't change the campaign outcome, but it made a difference in terms of the internal dynamics. And I think that we ask too much of presidential debates. If we're asking someone to flip from conservative to liberal or liberal to conservative, Democrat to Republican, but enthusiasm, propensity to vote, confirming an idea that you really do care about a candidate, and moving just 2 or 3% of people in the middle really does matter.
Interestingly, the Romney campaign from the very beginning has looked to these debates. I agree with you about freezing the narrative, but it seems to me that the Romney campaign hasn't minded the idea of the narrative being frozen because they focused on these things from the beginning. One of the interesting little tidbits that people didn't focus on in the famous secret video from the fundraiser back in May is Mitt Romney saying it's all going to come down to the debates. We're going to do really well in the debates. And having talked to the Romney staffers from the very beginning of the campaign, they've always looked forward to this. Is their moment to confront and defeat President Obama.
But Dotty, I want to go to you because you've been covering this for a very long time. You've seen many moments like this. Is this a game-changing moment right now, and are presidential debates typically game-changing opportunities?
They can be. As Howard mentioned, there are a couple of instances in the past where these have really been a big deal. We look again at the Gore campaign that went into those debates in 2000, thinking he was going to just put Bush away, and Bush did quite well, and well enough, at least with the Supreme Court, to elect him president in 2000. But I think what the Romney campaign is thinking, as well as substance, is optics. Everybody who's seen Mitt Romney says, he looks like the guy I'd put in the movie to play the president of the United States. And they think standing on that stage with Barack Obama, toe-to-toe, if you will, he's going to look presidential. and equalize some of the advantage that he has.
But the whole expectations game obviously is part of campaign strategy. You want to make it look like anything other than falling on your face is a massive victory that you can advertise to the base. I don't think, by the way, that either candidate is in that position remotely credibly this year. And if Mitt Romney, even though there may be fewer expectations in some respects for a sound performance, Chris Christie was doing his best yesterday to make sure that wasn't true for the campaign. Whether that was approved by Romney Central or not, I'm not entirely sure. But you don't necessarily want to look at this as just simply who beats expectations. You would like to have more attention to policy, but that's not how these are set up.